I watched with clenched everything as he ran over to the dumpster and pulled out the bag. My stomach felt sick as he tucked his find under his shirt and walked it over to his own car. Trembling foolishly, I got in beside him. He started the engine and we drove off. "Open the bag," he said, "but don't touch anything inside." Breathing intense staccato bursts, I pulled the opening back over the contents, and we found ourselves looking at several taped-up baggies of white powder. "We need a new trash bag and some gloves," Schwartz said.
At the time this article was written, Israeli President Shimon Peres had given Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu 2 more weeks to finalize plans for a new government. Peres had originally given Netanyahu 4 weeks to create a coalition of representatives to form the Jewish state, but the political disagreements have made the task difficult. The biggest hurdle for Netanyahu has been the unlikely alliance between far-right party the Jewish Home and the more centrist Yesh Atid party. Despite their polarizing differences, these two groups are united in opposition to the ultra-Orthodox factions in the country. Ultra-Orthodox Jews are exempt from the military draft, which angers the other parties. Stating that the ultra-Orthodox factions need to share the national burden, the Jewish Home and Yesh Atid parties have so far rejected any ultra-Orthodox participation in government. Netanyahu recently met with Jewish Home leader Naftali Bennett, who laid out his party's conditions for support. Jewish Home Party official Uri Ariel has stated that it was a positive and concrete meeting. Netanyahu needs the support of all parties in order to move the government forward. Israeli Army radio reports that a close aide to Netanyahu said that Israel was heading towards a less stable government than one including the ultra-Orthodox parties. Netanyahu's position to include the ultra-Orthodox factions may be the stumbling block that thwarts his efforts to form a new government. At a meeting with President Shimon, Netanyahu said, "The main reason I have not finished forming a government is because there is a boycott of a sector in Israel, and this is unacceptable from my perspective." The full support from these two main parties are enough for Netanyahu to gain the majority of seats in Israel's parliament, regardless of any ultra-Orthodox inclusion. Ultra-Orthodox Rabbi Chaim Soloveitchik warned his followers against connecting to what amounts to religion's destruction and an obstacle to the house of Israel. Islamic conflicts continue in Syria, where Shiite fighters from Iraq and Lebanon have gathered to defend a shrine in Damascus. The Shiite fighters fear that the Sayyida Zainab shrine may be threatened by Sunni rebels who are opposed to President Bashar al-Assad. Sayyida Zainab was the granddaughter of Muhammad. She died in 682 AD and is buried inside the gold-covered mausoleum. Sources close to the situation report that the recently formed Abu al-Fadi al-Abbas Brigade is the main fighting group defending the shrine. The mostly Iraqi force was created in response to perceived threats by Sunni rebels who have desecrated other holy Shiite sites in the past. Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki warned of the potential for hazardous after-effects to neighbouring countries should the rebels claim victory. Al Jazeera quoted Maliki as saying, "Neither the opposition nor the regime can finish each other off. The most dangerous thing in this process is that if the opposition is victorious, there will be a civil war in Lebanon, divisions in Jordan, and a sectarian war in Iraq." The conflict has brought many hardline Sunni fighters to the region from Afghanistan, Libya, and Chechnya. Sunnis consider the Shiites infidels. Sunni rebels also consider this shrine to be a non-Islamic and pagan symbol which should be torn down. Since the Sunni uprising started less than 2 years ago, over 70,000 people have been killed and hundreds of thousands have been displaced from their homes. A report issued by the United Nations last December called the fighting in Syria overtly sectarian. The deadly fighting continues as both sides lay claim to their benefits. Sunnis and Shiites hold their interpretation of Holy Scripture as true and will not compromise. The situation leaves one to wonder how there could be so much confusion among the readers of the same doctrine. Allah was unavailable for comment.